So Ryan, one of the things that we do when we work with a church is to really probe their perspective on mission and what is the mission of the church itself, the big C, the big church, okay, and what God has planned for us. I read in a book, there was a gentleman that said the church needs to be on mission and we're here in the earth or on the earth today for his purposes. And he didn't take us up when we accepted Christ as Savior because he has work for us to do here on earth, to see people come to know him and trust him. So that is a fact that's here. So as you have gone through the process you have gone here, how has the work that was done on mission, not just looking inwardly, but looking outwardly, how has that impacted your ministry as you've come here? And then also the values that they shared with you. I remember there were 5 core values that they created at that time, and you've worked on those some with them. And I see up on the wall there that you have a few different names for them, but as I look at them, they're somewhat similar. They're just, you've made it your own in a sense.
Yeah. So I'd say first on mission is this: we're called to be the light of the world, a city on a hill. And the funny thing about our church, we were Mount Gilead Baptist Church. Well, when we were thinking about the name, praying through the name, we really did land on the mounts. And one of the ideas is a mount. You're a city on a hill. It's a great reminder for us, man. We're put on a hill. We're put in this place. We're put in this city. Man, God, in his providence and sovereignty, put us in a place that was growing and exploding right in the middle of it. And man, we have the opportunity to be that mount, to be a city on a hill, a light in this community. And so just that reminder really does. I think anyone who is a follower of Jesus, who's been saved and transformed by the gospel, has a desire within them for others to know Christ. Now, they may not know how to do that, how that works out, but I think anytime you remind them of, we're here because there are people that still need to know Jesus, they're like, yes, and so they're going to use their gifting and talents and abilities to fulfill the mission, to make Christ known to the nations. And so for us, getting that mission, getting them on the mission, reminding them of the mission was huge. One of the first things I said when God called me here is like, hey, we're not going to fight over much. Like, we're not fighting over color on the walls or color of the carpet or chairs or flowers or lack thereof or style. We're not fighting over that. But what we will fight for is the gospel. And we will stand on the gospel. Amen. And so we just let our people know, really reminding them, hey, what's primary? And primary is the name and fame of Christ getting out of this place. And so getting them on mission, which led to us really solidifying and clarifying our core values. The values, and I know you know this, the values are what drive you. So what's going to drive us here? First of all, it's biblical authority for us. And so we can say that, but then we wanted to clarify that. Sure. We wanted to help people understand that. What does that mean? It means the Bible rules over us. We don't rule over the Bible. That when Jesus says go, we go. So the Bible is central here for us. Biblical authority. I think about the sacrificial community. I'm reminded of the people, this church was 160 years old. Right. There have been people all along the way who poured out for the name and fame of Christ to be made known in and through this place. And so that sacrificial reality must continue on, And then I think about the communal maturity is another one of our core values. Well, the communal maturity is this. Again, let's just rewind the circle again. We're better together. That God actually uses us to sharpen one another, to shape one another, to encourage one another. He would say, spur one another on toward love and good works. Well, that doesn't happen in a silo. It happens when we're together. So the idea that, man, we grow more like Christ together. So this communal maturity. And then finally, the missional community, which is what we talked about. Hey, we're a community here of believers gathered together, not just to terminate growth on ourselves, but to go out and impact the world with the gospel. So the core values really drive us toward the mission. So that's how they've worked together. And I think both identifying and clarifying those really has helped propel us to, man, it's not just about Sunday morning for an hour. It's about life out there making an impact, being a light in this world.
You know, I've heard you speak about this in a little different way, but mission and values, you said, are what drives us and to our mission, to our purpose. And that undergirding of that thought process can also drive what you do ministry-wise. And so some ministries that you had here when we worked with you are no longer part of the ministry. So it allowed you to really filter what you were doing to see if it was on mission and on values. Is that a fair?
Oh, that's very fair. And it's not that the things that we're not doing anymore were bad. It's just, man, they're not who we are. It's not where we are, what we're going, where we're going. As a matter of fact, I mean, if you have a particular ministry you're trying to do and there's a church or a ministry in the area that's doing it better, why would we not support what they're doing and just say, man, they're knocking out. I'll just give you a quick example. I'll be real specific. Upwards. It's amazing ministry, right? But there were a couple churches in our area that were just knocking it out of the park. Why would we try to duplicate why don't we just join in what they're doing? And I think, again, that's a kingdom mindset that the Lord continues to work in us here, is here's who we are, here's what we're about. And you know what? We're not saying these other things are bad. As a matter of fact, they may be really good, but it may just not be what God has for us.
Especially with your facility.
Absolutely. Yeah. Every church has limitations.
Sure.
Facilities, volunteers, money, everything. So you have to look at where you are, what God's planted in your heart, and then be who you are and stop trying to be who everybody else is and celebrate. This is huge. Don't be afraid to celebrate what God's blessing somewhere else and be part of it.
We're all part of the big
brothers
body.
And sisters. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's right. So that's been a fun part for us.
Very good. And your mission and values are being lived out and it's not just the staff. No. Okay, it's not just you. Again, it would be silos.
That's right. Absolutely.
So it's being lived out in the congregation every day. So that's an awesome thing to see what you've done. And, obviously God's doing the work.
For sure.
But it takes leaders, and He uses them. And you're certainly one of those. So thanks for letting us meet together.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.